Hello everybody, my name is Master Chief 3458 and welcome back to Hellfire Industries Season 1. What you see here is a station we are going to put up into a 200-kilometer orbit, which is Hellfire's standard orbit. I put all my ships in 1K for refueling. It just makes it easier when they're closer. And the idea of the station is going to be multi-purpose. It's going to be for refueling, it's going to be for holding weapons, it's going to be for keeping prisoners, it's basically a defense station, if you will. Now, you're probably wondering, Alex, why the hell do you sound so different? And that's because of a lucky donation. I was able to get a new laptop, which I'll be using to record videos. And with that, my voice sounds a lot different. Anyways, let's go to the launch pad. I'm going to let MkII take the station core up just for my own purposes. I'd rather not have to do this over and over again, the simplest of steps. Like, I've learned that really you don't need these massive ascent stages to get things into orbit. You just need a few jumbo cans and maybe a large can, and you could get pretty much... Oh, just excuse that little notation that came up on screen. I had to launch this in the dark. I'm just looking back at this and I'm launching it in the dark, and it's like, it's really weird. And if you just noticed that there was a bit of a problem with the ascent stage, and now we're basically carrying a bit of dead weight. I take responsibility for that, but that has set us back a little bit. I can only go up to 100,000 now, and this is our burn to circularize, and that's done. So the station doesn't have much fuel left in it, so if you noticed a few seconds ago I switched over to Destiny's Edge. That's the new ship name for the Ares variant, this Ares anyway. So my idea at first was to use this ship to refuel the station, and I decided to go ahead with it since it has so much Delta V and it can get to anywhere in the Kerbin system without even depleting a quarter of its fuel. So I just pull that up until I get a good rendezvous scenario, and it takes a while because I'm a bit OCD with those type of things. Anyways, we're just doing the burn. It's a nice short one. You just have to take my orbit up a little bit. When it comes to rendezvousing, I prefer to skip, like take out the node before I finish. And this is just the time warp around the planet, but I prefer to take out the node so I can actually see where the two nodes are for a rendezvous. So this is just me slowing down just to match the speed up with the station, and it's pretty easy. Like, I have a lot of fuel left, but as I'm slowing this thing down, making so much adjustments, just trying to slow it down, I realized something at the absolute last possible second. This Ares variant isn't fit for docking with everything else. I just realized that. It only has one docking port on the bottom of it. So I decide to stop being lazy. I go back to the vehicle assembly building, and I start building a refuelment vessel. Standard, nothing new, just a standard refuelment vessel for orbit capable or your everyday refueling needs as a space program, of course. The ascent stage this time I put actual decouplers on. I was just experimenting before and that did not work out the way I wanted to. I'm also going to save the ascent stage just for future reference. And Hellfire refueler. Alright, I'm going to take this one up myself. Can't just let MkII have all the fun. And now if you notice, I'm using 4x time warp, which is the stupidest move ever, but I do it anyway. And I pay for that right about here, where I go 4x time warp and my ship starts spinning out of control. It didn't break because I reacted fast enough, but we're still spinning out of control and 3 Kerbals' lives are at risk. I'm pulling it together slowly with RCS, and it's just the stabilizers are barely hanging in. And I'm slowing it down, slowing it down, slowing it down, and I finally regained control. But I keep thinking that I used too much Delta V, and there's no way I can get up into orbit now. So I burn as much fuel as I need to just to get up to 100k, because this needs to be 100k to rendezvous with the station. I mean, the station doesn't have that much fuel. Once we get up to our apoapse, I use everything I have in my main tank. And looking back on this, I probably should have just kept using the main tank. I should have transferred fuel. But what I did is I faced directly away from the planet so I could maintain my altitude while gaining velocity at the same time, and I put it in between prograde, and I'm not sure what that mark is called actually, but I'm gaining altitude and velocity at the same time. And after this little jump cut, what happened was it took about 15 to 20 minutes, so I just cut it out. And anyways, this is me docking with the station core. I was happy that I was able to get this into orbit. As you can see, I used up most of my onboard fuel, but knowing how powerful the engine is in the back, I won't have to send up a second one. I'm definitely not going to use that for a while. I'll probably modify the design when I have some spare time. So I'm also going to take the crew outside of the refueler because it's out of fuel and it has nowhere really to go. So, knowing myself, I accidentally missed with this last Kerbal. It's always funny when you miss your target on these EVAs. Alright, I skipped, because it was on the dark side, I decided to skip the getting up to 2K, but this is just a circularization since it's on the sunny side. Alright, last step is simple. Just transfer the fuel from the ascent stage to the main tank inside the station, and then we can jettison it. And that's all the fuel gone. Jettison. Alright, so we're going to finish this off by extending our solar sails, and we have a station. While the station was getting into orbit, some Kerbals on board Destiny's Edge have scanned the Kerbin system and have found on the Mun we've detected several Honey Badger ships. We're hoping these are exploration ships, but we're going to use the Ares variant's telescope, and we're going to get a 3D image of what these ships actually are. So let's see what we're up against. Trouble. Battle fleet confirmed. Several cruisers and a carrier detected. I'm going to have to talk to the other leaders of Hellfire Industries, and we're going to decide what to do with this. So, in the past 3 days, a decision has been made, and I have ordered the construction of a new Warbird class destroyer. This is going to help the Behemoth and Destiny's Edge take on the Honey Badger fleet and orbit around the Mun in the next episode. I'm going to take this ship up myself, but I'm going to skip the orbiting time simply because it takes a long time in real time, and even speeding it up will not help. This is the Warbird Mark II, and I am on the launch pad, launching now. It's a very slow ascent, but nevertheless, we'll get there. And yes, this did take an hour. Alright, so after that, we are fully operational, and the fleet is ready to head to the Mun in the next episode. I'm in the process. This is close to the Behemoth, but there's the Destiny's Edge going onto the dark side of Kerbin. But in the next episode, we will surely go to the Mun. And these are the 3 ships we're going to be taking out. So right now, I have to sign off, but I'll see you in the next episode. Master Chief 3458, out.